Okay guys, so today we're going to look at drainage profiles. Here we have a network. Basically surface water comes down through this way and out around the corner and out to site. Here we have a foul water run that comes around this way and out to site with a couple of side runs. So let's look at drawing a profile. So within the drainage module, you go down 2, 4, 6, 7 ones. It's this little profile sections is the name of it. You click on it, you go into the sub toolbar, and here we have this is the profile with a couple what looks like to be 2 arrows in a circle pattern, and it should be the button gen the section. So you're going to generate the section on this. Now if you were been working with the drainage or the ground model, the road or the ground modeling, by now you would have the proposed ground model, the DGM, loaded into your drawing to get your spot levels and such like that. However, you need to do an extra step with the drainage because you have to assign the ground models for the drainage to generate these profiles so it knows where to get the surface levels. If you do not, I'll show you what happens. So let's generate this section and you get this little pop-up. I'll explain more of this in a moment, but basically just leave everything at default. I go OK. I'm going to choose between this manhole and that manhole. Go OK, and I click a point, right click for enter. It comes up with that's the profile is going to generate. But if you look at your command line, it says no PGM stored, therefore it crashes out and doesn't do anything. So if you're trying to do your section, you go, I'm doing everything right, I'm clicking this, I'm doing that, this is ticked, that's ticked, generates it, still nothing. What you need to do is probably because you haven't assigned the ground model. So it's like saying, well, I got no ground levels to draw here, so I'm not going to do anything. So what you need to do, you come back out of this and you go to your import export. This is what you use to bring your models in and out from Flow to PDS or vice versa. Now the first one looks like a piece of paper with some green squiggles on it and a pencil. This is your edit DGM list, and you can tell because it's got 4 little lines there, and you can have up to 4, 5, 6 DGMs listeners to get the levels. So that's kind of your little clue in terms of what it's for. So we got edit PGM list, and you look at it, and here there's nothing in the list, so that's why it didn't get any levels. That's why it didn't generate the profile and crashed out. You need to add this in. Now, so let's simply add one. So here we got multiple DGMs. This is what I want. One big site, happy days, no phasing. And I then can do the same thing with the foul. I can add something there. I can then leave it highlighted, remove it, choose a different one, remove it, or add this one. So these can be different. Instead of adding this one, if you want it to be the same, you simply go copy storm to foul. So you do it once, you hit that, copies it down, happy days. It does it for you. Not so much of a time-saving thing when you just have one DGM that's being used for both of them, because it always will keep going back to that same spot as before. But it does become more time-saving when you have multiple DGMs. Now, just like the road profiles, you can have multiple DGMs listed. So say for example you have this part, the north part, say it's phase 1, this bottom part, say it's phase 2. So if I just did phase 1, it would start off here and get the levels, and then it gets to this point, and then it would not be getting any levels because you only specified this one. So what you need to do is you need to specify both of them, so it can get the levels for all of it. And the important thing is the hierarchy. So let's add this, open. So if I go to the surface, open, and if I go add, open. Now you can move these up and down the list. Say you got these in the wrong order. The phase 2 is supposed to be first. Just use it, move up and down, go through the list. Now what's important about the order is it'll go to this first one, look for a ground level. If it doesn't find a ground level there, then it will jump to the next one. And if it doesn't have a ground level there, then it will jump down to the next one. It'll keep going down the list until it finds a ground level. And if they're all accurate, up to date, and they don't overlap, it doesn't matter. But if they do overlap, and say for example you had one for the whole site here, and you just had phase 1, which was this part, and the whole site wasn't updated when the little phase 1 DGM here was, so your whole site, this is all accurate apart from here because the phase 1 has been updated but this hasn't, then it's going to get incorrect levels. So in that case you would have to move the phase 1 to the top of the list. So here it's getting the levels from the phase 1 DGM, which is more current, and not the proposed ground levels DGM, which has been superseded. So you need to make sure it's in the right order. And the good thing about that copy, store, and file, you just hit that there, exact same order as per that. So it's a really quick and handy thing to do. So I always just go remove out of habit, go open, copy, store, and file. There, nice and quick and easy. Make sure it's in the right order, or maybe you're working remotely and the connection is a bit slow. A lot more easier to do it this way so it doesn't hang up. So we go okay there. So now if we quickly generate a section, leave all the defaults for the time being, click, okay, right click, yes. It goes through all these commands which I'll explain in a moment. But there's your profile. So if I didn't generate it, it's probably because you don't have your DGMs listed. And again, you go to import, export, you go to edit PGM lists, the one with the piece of paper with the blue, sorry, with the green squiggly lines. You go into there, you add it, you go okay. Now I know where to get the information from. So that's how you generate your section, and that's, if it's not working, that's probably what the reason is. So let's stop for a moment and let us go back to our sections, and we'll go through some of those little tick boxes, everything else. The one with X, that deletes the section. So the other thing is that when you're editing these profiles, if you're regenerating the information or deleting it or whatever have you, you always have to take these first two lines, because that's what those two lines get built off of it. You can generate these profiles just with file, you could generate them just with surface water, or do both, but doesn't matter which option you choose, those two lines are constant because the ground level is always constant. So when you're manipulating these profiles, you select one of those two lines. So let's delete that off. All right, so let's start with the section. So let's go to style first. So style, the same format as a road profile. Your datums, your min max above your, this is how many interval of lines you have going above and below your highs and lows points. So that's the same as roads. Your start and end of corridor, you can extend it by X meters beyond your first and last manhole. Don't usually do that. I'm trying to keep the amount of drawings to a minimum, so I leave it at 0. Section height, you can leave it as 1, 2. Let's make it 2. Excuse me. Exaggeration. Now, the way this works is that if you have this as 1 to 1, you have to think of it as a default scale is 1000. So that's 1 to 1000. That's what the ones mean. If I change this to 2, it becomes 1 to 500. Why? 1000 divided by 2 is 1 to 500. If I make it 10, 1000 divided by 10 gives you 1 to 100. Now, the same thing applies to the vertical. 1000 divided by 1 is 1000. If I wanted 1 to 100, make it 10. So 1000 divided by 10 gives you 1 to 100. However, that's on the basis that 1 times 10 is 10. If I had this at 5 and 2, 2 times 5 is 10. 1000 divided by 10 means you have a vertical scale of 1 to 100. Your drainage scale is just simply whatever that number is. So 1000 divided by 2 is 1 to 500. So right now we have a profile that has a vertical scale of 1 to 100, because 2 times 5 is 10, and a horizontal scale of 1 to 500. We'll measure it to check this when we generate the profile. So that's how the profile is going to look. So let's go to corridor. So this is what is going to be generated. This is the information it's going to get and how it's going to be displayed. So you choose the network. So where all our drainage on this one is on network 1. Leave it at that. Drainage interval, that's the ground level, how frequent you have the ground levels going along your profile. Let's leave this unticked for now. The default one I always use, and I'm pretty sure it's the default in PDS, is the start and end manhole. And basically you choose your first, your last manhole, and everything in between to get from 1 to B, to get from A to B, will be added to the list. So let's start off with this. Let's go OK. I'm going to choose my header manhole, my outfall manhole. There's everything in that list. So if you did all the way along here, all these manholes would be on that list. Now, you can remove any of these. Say for whatever reason you wanted to take that one out, you can take it out that way. Maybe you didn't want the last 2 in it for whatever reason. But if, say we took out that one by accident, you go, great, accidentally took it out. So you want to add it back in. You go add. You want to add number 7. So there it is. But you can't move these. You can't shuffle them in order. So it's going to go to number 6, which is up here. It's going to go to 8. It's going to jump back to 7. So if I want this to go in order, I would have to remove number 8. So 1, 6, so 6, 7, and then I have to add 8 back into it. There. So if I go OK, pick a point, right click for enter, proceed this box. We don't have any foul drainage on this, so I'm going to turn it off. Pipe code, let's untick this for a moment, go OK. Now it's asking you to display any crossing pipes or whatever. You don't have to use this, but I do. Good way to make sure you clash check it, and if you're doing any submissions to the whatever sewer authority, they'll want to see anything crossing it, even the unmodeled gully connections. So just as a default position, I always just go yes, because it also, like I said, clash check, good way to quickly check for any clashes. You can specify digitized runs by ticking that, and then ticking or selecting the actual runs. I don't see what the point of that it really is. I'm just going to go the whole network, including services. So if you had used the utilities module on this and you had designed the water and electric and telecom cables and such crossing the site, it would include them as well. So make your life easier, just go click everything, include the crossing services, go OK. It's added them in nicely with the invert level pipe code, and that's our profile. So let's look at it. So that's your pipe runs along there with your chambers. Up top is your manhole reference. Any connecting pipes, the diameter and invert level. If there's any crossing pipes, it'll have the invert level and the pipe code reference. So we have 4 and 5. You have a foul and a surface water. So where is, what's that? Where is it? 4 and 5. We have a crossing foul, a crossing surface. Between 2 and 3, we have a crossing foul. 2, 3, crossing foul. There we got good separation between everything, so no clashes. Happy days. Ground level, we had it changed every 10 meters. The reason why there's nothing there, the ground model doesn't have any ground levels there to show, so it doesn't have anything there. Stormwater cover level, stormwater invert level, lengths, and then the details. So you have the pipe diameter and you have a gradient. Now you also have the materials. If this will say either circular or rectangle, that comes from flow, whether or not based on the pipe shape. The materials, that's based on the data file, which is, or your parameter file, sorry, this file here. It'll give a pipe material based on the size, so you can edit that, and you can edit the displays to create your custom one, so that isn't shown. I must admit I don't bother. I just simply delete off the material type in CAD. I just find it easier that way. We do not have a pipe code here, and we don't have any pipe codes here, so let's fix that. Oh, and there's the length there. So that's the default order. And if we want to annotate this, say we want to add the pipe codes, say that a invert level's changed, we can update that. And the way we update it is you go to annotate. It's the profile with the A on it. And basically what it does is it's going to delete everything off and regenerate it. So if I click on top row, settings, so here you have the 4 bits of information: levels, invert, pipe details, pipe lengths, and you can change the order of this if you want. Let's say you want that on 2 and you want this on 1. Go OK. So let's annotate the file. File's the exact same thing. So say you actually wanted the file to be on the very first row. You can amend this so that the file is on the top and the surface water is below. I must submit though, is if you do not have any, if you're doing a profile for foul, and you have no surface water, if you just untick the storm water, it'll just put the foul water information just directly below the drainage. So let's add in pipe details and adjacent to section. So you wanted to adjust the, we are going to adjust the ground level spacing, but as you see, you can't do it. Once the section is cut, that stays fixed. So you can't adjust the spacing of it. If I go okay, if I go, so here it's saying, wait a minute, you want the foul water information on your profile, but there is none there. Do you actually want to show it? I'm going to say yes. Yes, crossing. Yes, include crossing. So there. So here it's added the foul water in, but there's nothing there. So it didn't pick up any foul water drainage, so it's none there. Here you can see that the default position for the file, we left it as is, cover, invert details. Here we changed the pattern of the stormwater. We said make the invert first and then the cover level. So you can swap these around. You don't have to keep it in the position, but I must admit it makes pretty good sense. Ground level, cover level, you're doing a comparison between those two, and then you have the invert level. So again, normally leave them as is. And if you look here, now you have the pipe code. So you have the pipe code at the very top here, and then adjacent pipe. So here you have the pipe code. And here you can see sometimes it can get a bit cluttered. So I must admit, I always just leave it in the pipe detail section, not in the adjacent pipe. And if you do show the adjacent drainage within a corridor, this will get even more cluttered. So I mean, you have the space there, so you might as well just show it and make this less cluttered. So that's how you generate the profile. That's how you regenerate it to show, maybe change information on it and to update that information. Now the one thing I should point out is the profile is actually gone beyond the last manhole all the way to here. Well, that's because we told it to get a route from that point to that point, not that point to there. So let's draw the section from here to there and see what happens. So if I go okay, this to here, 8. If I do it roughly about there, go yes, 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 no, I don't want to do crossings. There you see, cut it off at this point. So we said, the first time we said go from here to here, but then we chopped off the last couple runs. So it's actually kept the full route as you initially picked. Here we didn't chop anything off, we went from here to here, and it's just kept that route exactly as before. So be careful of adding too many manholes in it and then taking them out. You may end up finding you have a longer profile that you decided to have in the end, and then you'd end up having to chop this off. So just be wary about that. So that's the two profiles. So let's see, that's generating the profiles, that's reannotating the profiles. Okay, so let's add some manholes to this manhole. Let's add some manholes to this profile. So you go assign section. So we're going to assign drainage to that section. So let's choose this. Let's choose that manhole. Right click. Now let's choose the profile. We're going to add it to it. Click that. Yes, delete it. Now we can either add the information to the profile, or we can strip everything all off and just only show what we have. So let's do overwrite. Go okay. Okay. Yes, annotate. Yes. Go okay. There. So it's only added in those manholes there that we chose. It's deleted everything off. So let's say you did that by accident. So let's bring back everything. See, I chose the wrong line, so I didn't do anything. It has to be these two lines up here. There, it's deleted everything off, clean slate. Let's just do I'll leave it there for a moment. Go OK. Yes. So unfortunately you can't get back that information because it's deleted it off from the profile. So what you're gonna have to do is you have to undo that. So undo the one step, everything's back. So let's try this again. We're gonna go add some manholes to that profile. Choose this one, choose this one. So those are the ones we want to add. This is the profile that we want to add it to. Right click. Drainage already assigned to it. Yes, because we're going to regenerate everything and we're going to add it. Go OK. Yes. We're going to just go get rid of adjacent pipe. Actually, no, we'll leave it because I want to see. No, we should leave it. Take it off for now. Go OK. And let's amend this back to default. 1, 2. Go OK. Yes. Yes. So cover, invert. So we swap those back around. We get the pipe code here, but we don't have it up to there because look at getting a bit cluttered. If that pipe code is on that, it'd be clashing with this information. So that's why I had the pipe code in that part there, and that's how you can add specific manholes to the chamber if you want, to the profile if you want. So we're able to generate a profile, we're able to add things to that profile, we're able to add information or regenerate the information to it if we want. Let's look at another way to generate the profile. Let's say we're doing this run here. This is code 4 and it goes all the way, code pipe run 4 comes all the way down to here until it drains onto this main run. So let's generate the section. Generate. We're gonna go, you can either enter it. Let's go with maybe run 5, which is those two. You go OK, left, right. So there, we said give me everything on pipe run 5, and that's all that there is to it. Let's say we're gonna generate, we don't know what it is, we're gonna digitize it. Gonna go OK. I just know that it's this run here. It's run number 4. Those are all the chambers on it. Go yes, no, sorry, go left, right. Crossing, yes. So run 4 all the way to 19. So that's how you can just generate a profile for a set run. You can either manually enter it or digitize it. Now let's say we want to get the profile along a route and we want everything within it. So we can do that. Corridor width, let's cancel that for a moment. How wide do we need to go? Let's say we want to get this run in it. Let's measure the distance from this manhole to that. It's 3 meters. Let's say we wanted to get this run in it. From there to there, it's 7 meters. So if we go 8 meters, it should get that, and it should get that run as well. So let's go this, include everything within 8-meter corridor of that run. If I go OK, there, it's picked up. That's 101A, that's one. Search, which one is that one? Yes. Okay. So there it has that manhole. It was the upstream, downstream manhole of that run was not within that 8-meter corridor, so it just has this manhole. However, this one does. Yeah, 3, 2, 1. And let's go back to the plan. 1, 2, 3. 101 is next one up. 1, 2, 3. 101 is there, so that's 101A. So 101 was probably too far off from it to pick it up. 104 is this one. Where's 104? 104 is there. So it can pick these up and it can add that information into it. And as you can see, if I had the pipe codes, that's really going to start to get messy. So, and here you have the information: cover level, invert, pipe info, lengths. So those are the way you can generate the profiles, and that's how you update them. The question is that does this update automatically when you change something in your flow model? Let's minimize this, push this over to here, minimize this, file, open, reset. There, is there a little network? If I go sketch, that run is length, where's length? 21 meters and 22 meters. There we go, maximize this. Okay. So let's tidy this up a bit. Let's get rid of that, let's get rid of that, let's get rid of that. And let's go from here to our outfall. Okay, so here 21, 22 meters, which is right. That's what that looks like. So let's cut this down in half, and let's cut this down in half. So our new pipe length is 8 meters and 6 meters. So let's minimize that. So let's save this here. We've done the quick save on it. Do it again just to make sure. So we're in PDS, nothing's happening. We're just panning around, doesn't get updated. If I'm in ground model, or try to go to ground model, you see right away, as soon as I try to do a command, it knows that that has changed. So it's trying to update things before it does that next command, or before you go to another model. Go replace, yeah, there you see that's been adjusted. And it's loading all the information. So that's been adjusted now. We go to our profile. That is still 21 and 22 meters. So the PDS will update the model automatically, but it will not update the profile automatically. And here you see we're in ground models. Let's do this again one more time. Let's go to the plan and let's say, let's make this even smaller to there. That is now 3 meters. If I go back to our drainage, if I save this in flow, if I save it again, there I'm trying to go to other areas, so it's automatically saved. If I'm in ground model on this, say I want to draw a line there, drew a line. This does not update. Let's go back to the drainage module. There, right off the bat, it picks it up, updates. It wants to update it. There's even shorter. It's running through all the pipe data. Yeah, okay. So our drainage model in this has been updated, but this still hasn't been updated. So let's update this plan. So go to your profiles, go annotate, click on the top row. Yes, display pipe codes, go okay. Yes, I'm gonna add the sections. I go okay. So 8 and 3. So it has updated this, but it hasn't updated the ground surface. It's taking that line and it's, you can tell because look at that's now off. These cover levels should all be snapping to the ground model because I'm getting the ground level, because I'm getting PDS to derive the cover levels from the ground model. So this ground profile here has not been updated. It's what PDS has done is taken a slice of the site through there like a cake and has drawn that, and it stays fixed. So if I want to update the ground levels here, then I have to regenerate this section. So I'm going to delete the section and I'm going to redo the corridor from there to there, go okay, go yep, generate the crossings, okay. There, 8 and 3 is the correct lengths, and there the ground level has been amended. So PDS will update the drainage info on this as you update the model by using the annotate to recreate everything, but it will not adjust the ground level. So let's try something. Let us try adjusting the ground model and let's see what happens with this here. Okay, I'm just going to pause this and bring in all the 3D line work to adjust the adjust the ground models. Okay, so let's bring in the 3D line work that we used to create this 3D model. If I do this, this was the export that we gave to the contractor. Let's just turn some of this off. Turn that off. There we go. Let's just temporarily turn off all this drainage. There we go. And let's fix this lower area here. Drainage comes through this point because this is a dock leveler to go into the building. So the lorry would go down this ramp and the bed of the trailer would be equal to the floor level of the building. So that's what that is. So if we spin this really quickly, there you can see it ramping down to get to the building, and that's the vertical face. So let's modify, delete. Let's get rid of this. Oh. Modify, edit string, delete, modify, or if I do let's freeze this. Let's go to ground modeling for a moment because it's easier editing strings using this. Digitize. Explicit level. What is the building of this? 71.45. Let's just go 71.6. This, there we go, done, edit, yeah, okay, done, digitize again, zoom, explicit level 71.6, just there, done, yes. Select this one, okay, explicit level, apply. There, so we should have a nice plateau of 71.6 here instead of dropping down. Done, yes, exit. So here, let's put the drainage on the sections on. I don't want the rest of the drainage in there because those symbols representing flow controls and storage structures, though, is Z value 0. I don't want to mess things up, so I just leave it off. So let's go and generate a new PGM. If we go OK, there we go. Yeah, good enough. Good enough. Go OK. I'm just going to go create new. worry about different forms of modeling later. So let's make sure we change the one that we are using for our site. So C, PDS, temp, that's the one we're using, and I go save, yes, replace it, go OK, go OK, there we go. And if we go get spot level, there. So you can see it's a lot more higher and different. And if we come to this, we go to drainage, and if we, where's our profiles? Annotate. So I didn't update that, but if I go let's put this stuff back on.